Hello everyone, welcome to From the Heart. I'm Joshua.
And I'm Mary.
And we're excited to bring to you all that's new and good when it comes to the arts in Central Florida.
Today we're going to learn how and why you should visit Mad Cow Theater from Executive Director Mitzi Maxwell. We'll even find out what Mad Cow needs to continue serving audiences that will hopefully now include you. Welcome, Mitzi.
Welcome.
Hi. Mitzi, what does the future look like in your vision for Mad Cow Theater?
Well, we have a lot of dreams and we have a lot of goals. And I think that first and foremost, we want to establish a culture at the theater that is about looking ahead and about visioning not only new audiences, but new work. So first and foremost, we have a number of artists that come through the theater each year, roughly 200, and we want to keep inspiring them, and we want them to inspire us. So I think first and foremost, it's about making sure that artists have a fertile pasture, if you will. But maybe more specifically, here in the short term, we're looking at expanding our board of directors. Right now it's at 13, and we're looking forward to adding more folks to the governorship of the organization. We're also looking for a support space. Many people don't know that when we moved into our new theater on Church Street, which is about 9,000 square feet, it doesn't have offices, it doesn't have a scene shop, it doesn't have storage, nor do we have classroom or rehearsal space. So we are looking ahead to acquiring about 8,000 square feet so that we can put these various things under one roof. And our goal is, hopefully, to locate it close to downtown, perhaps in the Paramore district, because we want to be closer to that community as well. Some of our other dreams are starting a director's training lab at Mad Cow. The area needs more directors, and we think that by partnering with a local educational institution that we may be able to be a part of helping to grow mid-career directors, not only for Mad Cow, but for really all the arts organizations here locally. So that's something that's really important. And then finally, we're looking ahead to collaborating with the Dr. Phillips Center in the next few years. And I guess I also have a personal dream of building some new theaters at some point for the entire theater community.
Tell us how you would do that. How would that look? What would that look
well,
like?
I think that it would be a multi-venue location that, for instance, might have a small black box, something that's maybe 250, and then something that gets up to around 400 capacity. But we need to equip a theater here locally that has things like 18-foot clearances so that we can really do theater that's a bit higher caliber than we're able to do right now. All of the theaters in Central Florida, with the exception, I think, of one, have taken over space that was something else. Now, kudos to us for using what we have, but I think now that we're at that point, I feel like all the theater companies could band together and look for creating real theater spaces from scratch.
So these new theaters would be under the umbrella of Mad Cow?
I don't think of it that way. I think of it more as a need for many people. So although
partnership.
I think so, even though I think Mad Cow would be a part of it, for me it's a larger goal that I think is in a good place for the whole community.
And as an arts advocate, how do you think that theater and the arts really help shape our community? You know, things like you're talking about collaboration and partnership and things, but how do you think it really influences the community as a whole?
Well, I think this is similar to the slow food movement. In a sense, when a play is born here in Central Florida, it comes out of our soil with our water. So for instance, if we do a production of Tommy, it's not going to look like a production of Tommy that might be done in Cleveland or Washington, D.C. or Seattle. It'll be our Tommy. So it's our artists with their feet planted in our local area, which also means that their point of view is influenced by what's currently here in this area. For instance, there's a really big conversation in the community right now going on about Sunrail and about transportation. There's conversations about the educational system here in Central Florida. All of these topics and 35 others are part of who we all are. There are conversations going on, and performers and artists bring that to the creative table when we're putting a project together. So I love the idea that we're growing art right here. It's sort of like your grandmother's mustard greens, right? They're going to grow right here in Central Florida, and they belong to us. And they are indicative of what we feel and what we are dreaming about. And I think if you can go to the theater and talk about a show, perhaps to your friend in the car, you might also attend a board meeting, a school board meeting, and give your point of view. You might ask a politician a question about their platform. So I think when you develop voices in the theater, people take those voices out in the community and to their relationships, whether it's their husband or their cousin, and on and on.
I just love what you just said. When you can develop a voice in the theater, that people can take that out. It's another way that theater and art changes lives.
I think so.
That's beautiful.
I think so. And when you add your heart to it, it doesn't get much better than that.
Yeah, and when you talk about creating community and just community in general, we know that diversity has such a huge part of that. And at the very heart of Mad Cow, we know that you love diversity. How do you accomplish that in your theater?
Well, every year we look to create a diverse menu, if you will, of titles. And it could be that we have a play for the LGBT community. It could be that we have a play. Right now we're actually doing Hispanic classes, theater classes, which has not been done, at least I can think of in the last 20 years. So we look for projects and we look for titles that speak to many different cultures and speak to many different kinds, ways of living. And so by drawing that all together, what is a voice for someone else, it might be a learning experience for another segment of the community. So we look at bringing all these voices together every season at Mad Cow, and we were really thrilled this past season when fully half of the directors at the theater were women.
That's great.
So it's not only the play itself, but it's about the artists that are in the plays.
There's something else that you do at your theater that I just love. I love how you'll come out, and if it's not you, it is someone representing, but your voice is so important there. You'll come up and welcome the audience. You'll let them know what they're about to see. You add that personal touch. I feel like I'm in your living room, and I feel like you care about us. You do it with such heart.
Well, thank you. I mean, I think it's always been true at Mad Cow. We've always had a live curtain speech, and we've held on to it this long. We think it's important. And we do call it a living room experience, Mary.
I didn't know that.
We like to say you can hear the actors breathe, and it is a living room experience. So that's, see?
And that's
Thank
partly
you.
because relationships are so important to you, and
I
that
think
is
so.
a relationship
I
that you
think
get
so.
to nurture and culture. So how can arts change a life?
What a wonderful question. I think that arts, first of all, have changed many lives, but when you give yourself over to the experience and allow yourself to be open and receive whatever emotional exchange there is, I really think that you can be up for a tremendous experience. And it may not be that you understand everything that happens on stage. And if I would say anything to an audience is, if you don't get it all, it's okay. You don't have to understand all of it as you're going through it. And hopefully it's something that you chew on after the fact, because things are always moving. Communities are moving, emotions are moving, relationships are moving. So I think that's why it's a good reason to come to the theater, because I think it's a wonderful catalyst for change.
That's so perfect, and what a great way to end this conversation. It's been amazing having you here. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you for asking me.
And thanks for joining us. Our talk with Mitzi Maxwell has absolutely been inspiring. I know I've learned a lot about the theater and about you. We hope you'll go support Mad Cow, and when you do, make sure to tell Mitzi, the cast, and the crew that Mary and Joshua say hello.
From the heart.